Hi everyone, in this video we're going to learn some major string skipping arpeggios and they sound like this. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to play them. In this video then, we're going to learn some major string skipping arpeggios. Great for rock stuff, great for fusion. It's also pretty good for jazz as well, if you're into that sort of stuff. Players such as Paul Gilbert and Nuno Beckencourt are the guys that I straight away think of when I hear these sort of licks. And I just find them really, really useful as a usable arpeggio shape. So rather than where sometimes we get stuck playing scale shapes and arpeggios, this is definitely a very musical way to play arpeggios, okay? But before we start, make sure that you click like to like the video, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, and click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you want the PDF with all of the stuff I'm talking about in this lesson written out, you'll see a link below in the description. So let's get started then. The way I think of this arpeggio, I stick it to my E shape chord. Now, that's a G major, okay? There's a G major, which is known as the E shape, and I see the arpeggio that we're going to be doing in this video stuck to that because I find it easier to move it around into other keys. Okay, so a root for this shape is going to be on the D string. So we're going to play the 5th fret on the D with our middle finger. Okay, so that's the 5th fret on the D, then we're going to play 4, 7 on the G. And then we're going to jump over the B string, which hence its name string skipping. And we're going to play 3, 7 on the high E. Now, if you're familiar, a major arpeggio has the root, the major third, and the 5th. And that's what we're doing. We're playing the root, the major third, and the 5th, root, major third again. So all of the notes of a standard arpeggio are there. We're just playing it in a different way. Rather than playing it sort of this, like this, we're playing it like this. And because of the nature of the pattern, it's really nice. You get some really nice speed out of this, okay? So the way I phrase this then, I do a hammer-on the G and a hammer-on the high E. So let me just play that with the two hammer-ons. Okay, and if I was to loop it round like this, that's going backwards, okay? So that's starting on that 7th fret on the high E. Same notes, so I'm doing 7, 3 on the high E, 7, 4 on the G, 5 on the D. I'm going up, and coming back, and round and round. Now when it comes to picking, you can pick this in a few different ways, but this is the way I like to pick this lick. Down, up, hammer, down. Then I like personally to pick that high E string note again, pull off, then I get down on the G, down on the D. So there's two downs there, okay? Okay, I find that the most picking friendly way to do it. You could alternate pick like this. Down, up, hammer, down, hammer, pull off, up, pull off, down. Okay, so let me do that one more time. So down, up, hammer, down, hammer, pull off, up, pull off, down, up, hammer, down, hammer, pull off, up, pull off, down. So you could do that if you want to use that hammer on and pull off on that high E string, but for me, I do an alternate pick on the high E. Down, up, hammer, down, up, pull off, down, pull off, down. Okay, so it's a bit of a funny way to pick it, but just for me personally, I find that's the most effective and it's the way I can get the most speed out of it. Okay, so let me just play that one more time, going up and coming backwards. Okay, and there's my root. I'm focusing on that 5th fret on the D string. So if I wanted to change that to a C major, I'd find my bar chord like this, C major, and I'd play exactly the same pattern. G major, C major, D major. Okay, so as soon as you've stuck it to that bar chord, it makes it a lot easier to move that around the fretboard and change key. Now that brings me on then to playing it in another place. You can use the exact same shape that we've just learned, starting with your root on the A string. So say we wanted to do this in D, I would think of this as an A shape this time. So there's a D major, there's my root, I can do the same thing, only I've come up a string, I've come lower. So I'm starting on the A, so I'm doing 5 on the A, 4, 7 on the D, 3, 7 on the B. And that's a D major. D major, G major. So if I wanted to do that in E, I'd find my E chord, there's my root. D, G. Okay, so the pattern is exactly the same, and that works whether you're going to start on the D string or the A string. So let's just get the metronome on. I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm just going to go back to G and show you how to do it. Here it is at 90 BPM. I'll start from the top, from the 7th on the E. Okay, so that was 8th notes, quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's do it now with 16th, still at 90 BPM. And from the top. Okay, let's change the metronome. Let's go to 120 BPM and I'll go back to playing 8th notes. And from the top. Okay, same thing now. I'm just going to use 16th notes. And from the top. Okay, so it's always great to vary the rhythm up like that, because when you're learning arpeggios, rhythm is going to be everything, so they just don't sound like standard arpeggios. And that's what I quite like about these sort of shapes, is when you learn some patterns, which I'll show you in some other videos, they don't necessarily sound as strict arpeggios as if you were to play something like... You know, that just sounds like I'm playing an exercise. When you get the hang of these string skipping things and we learn some more patterns, you can make it sound a lot more musical, okay? Which I'm going to show you in some other videos. This is kind of part one of just some videos all about string skipping. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, click the like button. Also, if you haven't done it already, click subscribe to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. Also, if you want the free PDF for that, you'll see a link below in the description with all of that tab and notation, etc, etc. If you haven't done it already, come and check out my guitar school, Fretlix, guaranteed to help you become a better guitarist. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you again soon.